everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Today's game will feature a team that loves getting it done through the air. The Packers are top 10 in passing TDs, and they'll go against the Texans, who are very aware of what they'll be dealing with. With that, we send you up to legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis have the call. Gentlemen.
Larry, from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL, there's a look at Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here between the Houston Texans and the Green Bay Packers. They'll come out in the pistol. On the ground, the first carry for Ryan Matthews. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And a wide receiver to watch in this offense, certainly Jordy Nelson.
And most defenses watch him run past them. Jordy Nelson can run every route in the route tree and take it to the house.
Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
Jonathan Joseph goes under the radar a little bit as one of the better cover corners in the league, but his team knows his value. He can lock up good receivers.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. No, he doesn't have it. Maybe some alligator arms there going over the middle. 3rd down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. He's got Adams on the hookup. Well, we saw the practice film this week. They wanted to focus on these intermediate passing plays, and it paid off there.
And they took that focus not just to the practice field, but in the film room to show the guys exactly what they wanted, what types of looks they should expect to get, and how they would beat those coverages each and every time, and it paid off on that play.
They'll run for the first time with Lacey. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. J.J. Watt there on the tackle for a loss. Of course, last year's Defensive Player of the Year.
And we love saying his name, don't we? J.J. Watt. How about all that production, too? 29 tackles for loss in 2000.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. Well, your first drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, try to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that play.
No doubt about it. They're moving and grooving and getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going their way.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Offensive starters here. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, a talented wide receiver.
And he's still looking for that ultimate recognition. He wants to be mentioned with the best receivers in the game. His numbers suggest that we should do so.
To throw, it's Carr, and Anderson's got it. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. And now Anderson is slow to get up, staying down after that last play. We'll check on his status when we get back. So here we go, a 3rd down after the 2nd down pass completion. to try and throw on third down. Roberts with it over the middle. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to make it fourth down. So now the Texans will call on the veteran Shane Leckler to kick this one away. 31 yards on the punt there. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Brian Cushing. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. Heading out as the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. It's caught inside the 25. They'll get 32 yards there. And the Texans are going to have a first.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
That is caught. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
And when an offense is doing a nice job selling the play-action pass, a lot of responsibility shifts to the linebackers. They're the ones that have to determine run or pass and get to the proper places on the field.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And here we go on first and goal. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Lamar Miller hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have taken the early lead. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Another extra point opportunity here. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now another shot here at the PAT. And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. Now it's Novak on. He'll send this one away following the touchdown. Here comes Montgomery now to return it. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
They run it again with Lacey. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on third down.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
So they run it on second down. Now let's see what third down brings here for the offense. Now Rodgers. It's caught. Nelson. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot and they connected there and picked up a first down.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Rodgers now on first down. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second and a foot or so. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving in the red zone this time. They go play action for Lacy. Now Rodgers. Oh, nearly picked. Almost intercepted, but he couldn't hang on, and it's third down.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
Rodgers going to try and throw on third down. In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. So oftentimes you see defensive holding. Here it's offensive holding for the flag.
I really don't know where to go with this one. He caught the pass, but in the opposite direction towards his own end zone. That's not one you get every game.
So a costly penalty and now a tougher third down situation. Throwing is Rodgers on third down. He's got his target. It's Cobb. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Randall Cobb, his fourth touchdown on the year. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And it's up and good. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And now out comes Houston. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
It takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They go play action here on first down. Trying to lay one up deep. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 job.
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Ryan Matthews, his second touchdown on the season. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And now Miller hit, and he fumbles. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
319! 319! 556!
Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Hey, pick your game up.
On second down, Lacey. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
And Crosby puts it through, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So they recover the fumble but could not take advantage of the short field. They do get 3.
And no one ever turns down 3 points going up on the board, but the offense will go to the sidelines wondering what if. While the defense on the other side, they'll celebrate holding them to just a field goal after giving up such bad field position.
And now out comes Houston. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Pass interference call. Charles, you were a defender. You know how hard it is to defend the pass without committing this penalty.
And if they would let them play with a little bit more contact to give the defender a better chance, we wouldn't have nearly as many flags.
On first down, Carr setting up the screen for Miller. And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 14 there, and it'll give the Texans a first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
He's going to let this one go deep. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. Second down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Play action. Now it's Carr. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up a third down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
So they brought in an extra defensive back here, so probably not expecting a run on 3rd and 3.
A good call.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. Caught left side, Hopkins. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a first down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains. And really, it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him. Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
On second down, here's Carr. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll make it 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Offense coming up, needing 2 yards on 3rd down. Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And incomplete here on 3rd down. He was looking to get it to his running back, Lamar Miller. Now 4th down.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky. But that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up, this should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. It gets it over the middle to Cobb. They'll give him 8 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down. 2 minutes to play here in the 1st half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. Two yards to go here on 3rd down. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. And following that penalty, the offense really backed up now on 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Here's Jacob Shum now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. Now a fair catch called for and taken here, and that'll set up his guys in great field position. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there, we've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2, and that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8, now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete.
That's a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more.
Nickel back added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. Throwing his car on 3rd down. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Carr going to throw underneath for Miller. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone.
We ready?
On 1st down, Carr. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. C.J. Fedorowicz, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans have cut it to within a score. Now, these have been no picnic for him so far. He's missed 2, but this one is good. Now it's Novak on. He'll send this one away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback. Last year would have come out to the 20. This year they'll move it out to the 25-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Looking deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Lacy. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. And now the offense operates in the red zone. Rodgers going to give to Lacy on the draw. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Rodgers now on 1st down. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Devontae Adams as the first half is winding down. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
We ready? Red 18. Red 18.
Throwing on first down is Carr. He's got time. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half.
Here we go. Zebra. Zebra.
The final shot here before half for Carr. It's complete to Fuller. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So we're at halftime here at Lambeau with the Packers taking the lead to the break. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
All right, here we go. Wide at the 8. Wide at the 8.
On second down, here's Carr. Dumps it complete to Miller. And all the way down to the 26. A big-time play there for the Texans. 45 yards. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And he's brought down. It's a gain of 20 that time. And the Texans are going to have a first and goal. And now a first down following that long gain. To throw, it's Carr. Eluding the pressure right. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Julius Peppers in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. Throw on second down. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and that is going to set up third and goal.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Now Carr, the Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver, and it's fourth down. On is Nick Novak now for the Texans field goal. He had his lone attempt blocked earlier. And he tugged this one badly. It's no good. Wide left. And this score will stay right where it is. So we would have figured that one to be 3 points in the bank, but this game, can be unpredictable at times.
Yeah, he knew he needed to pull it ever so slightly to get it going in the right direction, but he seemed to put a little too much on it, and from short range, that is a bad miss for an NFL kicker.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.